Hey hippies, welcome. I'm back with another awesome tutorial, something special for the artists out there. Before we get started, make sure you do hit that subscribe button, also hit that notification bell so that way you don't miss anything that I do put out for you guys moving forward. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and cut open this mold. This is the first time I am using this one, so I'm just removing it from the plastic film and I'm just getting it prepped. What I'm doing here is I just pulled out this resin. I am using a two-part resin that I mixed off camera, and I am just going to add some of this white mica powder into my resin, and I'm going to create a nice pearly white colored resin, so that way I can just mix that on up right quick and pour that in a nice thin layer. So you do want to make sure you take your time mixing it and everything. This is sped up, so keep that in mind. And you want to make sure that all the powders and pigments are mixed thoroughly, so that way you don't have any clumps or anything like that. Alright, so of course what you're going to do is just go ahead and scrape that edge and everything, and then from there pour that right on in, move it around so that way it creates some interesting effects and everything from when just the mica powders just kind of move around and whatnot. So feel free to take your stir stick and just push those around as well as you see fit. After that, you just spray with your alcohol, and then you're just going to allow that some time to cure. Alright hippies, so once that's finished curing, what we're going to do is we're going to take our Pebeo Carne Relief outliner in this silver color. I have been working with this outliner a lot lately, and I am really feeling it. It's allowing me to do a lot of things that I haven't been able to do previously, and it's giving me a lot more control when I'm using different colors and different techniques and everything. So I hope you guys are feeling it as much as I am. I strongly recommend this outliner. It is kind of pricey, I will not lie. They're about $10 per tube. So if you're not going to be using it often, I wouldn't even, recommend buying it. But if you are going to be doing a lot of different designs and things that I'm doing like this, then I would definitely suggest doing is so. But yes, I'll have it linked below for you on Amazon. But what I'm doing here is I'm just painting lines using that outliner, so that way I can create these spaces for the glitter to go in later. I'm just creating abstract lines, doing what comes to mind, and I'm just going to allow that some time to dry. Once it's completely dry to touch and everything and I'm able to work with it, I went ahead and prepped my glitters and my polyurethane. Now I'm using every color in the rainbow along with some silver and also a hollow gold, which I am really loving. What I did was I am just creating a paste using the polyurethane that I am dropping into the glitter using my pipette. So I just drop that in there. I create a nice little paste-like consistency. You don't want it to be too runny, because then from there it may fall over the outliner, and you don't want that to happen. You want it to kind of stay in the spaces where you're putting it, so this makes it easier for you to manipulate it and everything. And versus the resin, if you're really quick, you're able to use resin. I am not that quick. I don't know anyone who is, and I also don't care for all the bubbles either. So this allows me to be able to really manipulate the colors and really get to the thickness that I wanted without worrying and having to rush and just putting that timer on me. This orange that I am using now, I just kind of cleaned my brush off and I moved on to the next color, dropping that polyurethane as I go. I don't add the polyurethane until I'm ready to work with that particular glitter color, because I don't need it just sitting there drying up on me, because I do have my space heater next to me, so that does make it dry a little bit quicker because it's keeping me warm. So I just want to not waste my product. Now, all these glitters are hand mixed by me. If you are really feeling my glitters, make sure that you do check my link below to go to my Etsy shop. I'm sure you'll love it. There is an amazing place for crafters of all levels, and I have so many pretty things. I will have some glitter mixes that will be releasing for you guys soon. I have been working on my packaging and everything and really making sure that I have it presented to you guys in a way that really makes me proud and whatnot, because I really love, you know, branding and just marketing and stuff is kind of my baby and whatnot. So I really love making sure that everything's to my expectations. So that's what I have been working on. But sure enough, I am finalizing some things, and I will definitely have the alerts coming soon. And I'll also be releasing some other things, such as some molds and stuff. So if you are, paying attention and whatnot, and you've been watching this video, or if you've just been in the comments, you might have seen where I've been hinting towards these molds and everything. I'm so excited. I got some really dope designs coming, and I know you hippies are going to love it. I have released like what one of the designs are. I haven't gotten to the details of it, but you guys know that it's going to be basically like a little roach clip palette. But this one's going to be super unique. It has a little twist on it, and it's going to be an improved design from the video that I did previously, which I will make sure that I link for you above as well, because it's becoming really popular. You guys are really loving that, so that's what kind of put the rush on that. But yeah, so just make sure that you're following my Etsy shop, because I want you guys to know about all the stuff that I will have coming for you. I'm super excited to get it out for you, because you have been asking. Y'all been straight up harassing me about these molds, but I got you. Alright, so moving on, what we're going to do is you're just going to go ahead and continue with this process for these remaining colors and everything. Some of the colors you will use more than once is completely fine. Just try to make sure none of them are touching, just to get the effect that we're going for. That's kind of the point of this. It's okay if the corners are meeting, but you don't want the sides of the same color to be touching. So just continue on filling in all these little empty spaces that you created using that outliner paint in that last step. And you're going to allow this to completely dry overnight once you finish. And then I will meet you guys on to the other side when we move on to the next step, hippies. Alright hippies, so once that has had a chance to completely dry and everything, what we're going to do is we're just going to mix up some clear resin here. I did let it sit for a bit to make sure that the bubbles had a chance to kind of come to the surface and pop and everything. What you see me doing is I'm adding a very thin layer of this clear resin on top, and it's probably not even going to actually completely cover the top. But what I want to do is I want to take my little mixing stick, and I want to actually go through and touch each and every side of this mold just to make sure that I get the resin there and that no bubbles form where that glitter is, because it's going to be really easy for an air bubble to get trapped in a pocket over there where that glitter is, because the glitter makes the surface uneven and the bubbles just kind of adhere to things like that. So just make sure you're being mindful of that. I'm also taking my little mixing stick and I'm kind of smoothly going over this top layer, and then I'm taking this heat gun, my trusty heat gun, and I'm just going to push that resin all the way around. And this is the reason why I want to make sure it's very thin and it's not even going to completely cover the surface yet, because the way I'm blowing this around, it would blow out of the mold. So once I make sure every surface is touched with that resin, I'm just going to come in with the remaining resin and completely fill the mold, so that way it creates a nice, even, clear surface. And this is what's just going to make sure that everything is nice and pretty. Feel free to also get in here and spray some alcohol over the next 20 minutes or so. I did come back and spray the alcohol about 2 to 3 more times just to be sure. And then you're just going to allow that some time to cure. Once everything is completely hard and rock solid, what you're going to do is you're just going to go ahead and wiggle this from the mold, pull off any excess pieces that may have gotten from any overspill or anything like that. And then once you got that off, you're just going to take your sanding block and sand down any edges, making sure there aren't any sharp edges or anything like that. And it's also going to take care of any little excess overage that you weren't able to pull off with your fingers. So go ahead and just kind of dust that off. I'm going to pull it off camera right quick to get the remaining off. And then when I pull it back, what we're going to do is we're just going to get our acrylic paint pen. Now this paint pen is a silver color that I am using. What I like to do personally is I like to use the edge of the marker and go over the edge of the piece, and it kind of creates an outline for me, so that way it gives me like a visual guide of where I need to fill in at and everything. And then I just go in with the tip of the marker and just kind of color all across that edge and whatnot. It's super simple. The paint marker gives you so much control, so really anyone would be able to use these paint markers. So I highly suggest them, especially if you're not super experienced with like acrylic paints and just using paints, or if your hand just isn't super steady with the brush. Because I know sometimes, especially when I'm not paying attention, because I can be doing a million things at once sometimes, I don't want to mess up. So this paint pen just really helps me out, and it makes the process a whole lot faster as well. Once I finish with this coat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it dry about an hour or so, and then I'm just going to come in and do a second coat and then let those dry completely. Alright hippies, so here is our finished product. She is absolutely stunning. I am so in love with how this color blocking with this glitter really turned out here. I love how it sparkles and you can see just each individual like piece and everything, and each one just stands out. I really love how this silver outliner really outlines each piece as well, and it just really helps the glitter extract like little patterns stand out and whatnot. I also really love how the siding of the silver paint with the acrylic marker turned out. It really matches this Pebeo outliner really well. Even the back side is reversible, so that way you can actually flip this over, so that way you can still use this side as well if you want to use it as the paint palette instead. And it's very pretty from doing the little wispy designs using a toothpick on there, which I actually didn't show. If you love this tutorial, hippies, make sure you leave me a thumbs up. I love hearing from you guys, and until next time, XO, mwah.